Hello 3D modelers. The last time we were working together, we patterned the fin unit. We made 9. I've added a 10th, and I do recognize we're a tiny bit over the line, but I'm hoping there's enough margin that the laser cutter will still be able to work with that. Let's go ahead and start taking this digital model and prepare it to become a physical model to be cut out on the laser cutter. So first of all, I want to come in here and drop down any layers and turn off the sketch so that it makes it more clear for us as we move into the manufacture space. So here in the manufacture space, you will see we have setups, and the first thing we'll do is do a new setup. And we want to verify the operation type is for cutting. And we'll come down and say which model do we want. We'll click on each fin. And then we need to go to stock, and where it says stock offset, let's say no additional stock. So it verifies it's 0.125 inches thick, and that's the size that we're going to be cutting in, just a little over 17 inches and just a little over 10 and a half. We're up at 10 3/4 there, but I hope we can squeeze through. Next, we're going to need to use a cutting tool, but before we can use a cutting tool, we have to define the cutting tool. So let's go into Manage, Tool Library. So here, under Documents, we can click in the current document where we want to be, click the plus sign, Laser Cutter, and we'll put a little GF for Glowforge laser, and click on the cutter tab, and for the kerf width we need to say that it is 0.007 IN for inches. And then the nozzle clearance, we can just leave that as the default setting. Let's accept that. Now we have a tool defined so that when it's time to come here to cutting, we can now click on Cutting, 2D Profile, and now so we need to select a tool. So we'll click on Select, and we can pick up that Glowforge layer that we did define, and we'll select that. So this is the Tool tab. We're going to go to the second tab and click on it for Geometry. And right now there are no contours selected. When I'm going to select contours, I like to have this sort of on an angle. So I clicked the home button. I'm zooming in because, like, can you see we can select like the front or the back. So please be pretty precise when you're selecting. I'm going to scroll till I get that front edge. So I'm going to click there, there, and keep going along, selecting the front edges. Great. So we have 10 pieces of geometry selected. And now I'm going to come to this fourth tab called Passes. And in here, I'm going to select Sideways Compensation equals Center. And we'll click OK. So it's thought about all of that. And now if you want to come, you can come over here. This is the Simulate. And you can watch a simulation of the paths that are going to be cut out, and that's always useful because it verifies it's picking up all the pieces that you want to be cut. And it's also helpful because you can go in here and you can say, it's going to take 5.5 minutes to cut those pieces out. So we're nearly finished here. We've got our setup and we've got a 2D profile cutting path. And the very last thing we're going to do is send out what we've prepared in a SVG format that Glowforge can recognize.